Hey, this is Noni from Enhanced Life Psychology, and I am coming to you today to have another little chat about how we can stay well during this pandemic, in these times of social distancing, self-quarantine, that choice to remove yourself from interacting with others maybe, and that, we all face this difficulty differently and we struggle with different aspects of this. I saw a lovely little meme that was shared about just a little warning, request from introverts to, even though this is exactly what they're looking for, to check in on their extrovert mates, because they might be struggling a little bit with not having as much social interaction as they're used to. And this links back to the post I did yesterday about connection, checking in with our friends, finding that way to interact and to be social with our friends at these times is really important for a lot of us, especially for those who might not ask, might feel reluctant to ask for assistance, but that it will be important for them as well. So I wanted to talk about structure. So many of us are now shifted to working at home more than we would have usually. There are some of us who might have, some offices might have a restriction on how many staff can be in the office at one time. I've heard of some offices saying only 50% of staff at any one time. So that means staff are at home. Other offices are closing down and requesting all staff to work from home and to have meetings online. There are schools that are closing down and shifting their learning process to an online format. There are a number of educational facilities, organisations that are also shifting towards doing this. I'm not sure the status on state schools or universities, TAFE courses and other private colleges, but I have heard that there is at least one private college that I know of that is now doing online courses or instruction via YouTube and requesting videos, etc. from students. This makes it really difficult when we might be really used to having structure in our day. So we wake up at a similar time. Obviously this is weekdays. We wake up at a similar time, we have breakfast, we travel into the office, whether it's via bike, public transport, private car, or any other way, walking. And so we've got that, and then we get into the office. We might have had a coffee on the way into the office, then we might say hello to everyone, and then we get started on our work. There might be meetings structured throughout the day. We have a morning tea break, we have a lunch break, and some offices will have a communal lunch once a week or a communal morning tea once a week. And you might have a break in the afternoon, then you all might head off. On Fridays, you might go to the pub for a drink, which is also not happening as often as would usually happen. So our days tend to be really well structured. But when we make the decision to work from home, either at other times or whether the decision is made for us by our workplace or our school, finding that structure can be difficult. And that structure that defined our day means that it was easier to manage. We knew what we were doing, hour to hour. But now we don't know. Our time stretches in front of us and we've got so much to do, but we don't sit down and do it because we kind of feel overwhelmed by information, overwhelmed by the fact that we don't have that structure that is inherent, working, going to work, or going to school, or going to university, or whatever it is, there for us. So one of my tips for you in terms of maintaining your mental well-being and your sanity, for want of a better word, during this time, if you are engaging in self-quarantine or quite more severe social distancing for your own and your family's health and safety and well-being, it might be worthwhile spending some time sitting down and actually looking at your usual day. What does that look like? What time do you usually wake up? How do you usually start the day? What time do you usually leave to go to work? Then what happens through the day? Are those meetings still scheduled? Or how can you check in with colleagues or friends on the way to work, or or in that morning or afternoon time when you would usually check in with them? And so once you've worked out what's your usual routine and how's your day usually structured, then you can sit down and go, okay, well, how am I going to structure the day now? So maybe it is getting up at the same time still. Maybe you've got a little bit more time in the morning before you would usually have breakfast, or before you would usually start work, to incorporate some exercise. And that's one of the things that's been recommended to keep doing. And obviously, if you're going to the gym, making sure that you're doing that in a safe way, sanitizing, wiping down. The gym would be following various protocols that they need to follow. But maybe it is about going for a walk or a run or a bike ride, taking the dog for a walk, taking the kids to the park in the morning. Those sorts of things means that you can then start the day, you start the day at your normal time. But what that exercise does is has all those other benefits that I've posted about and I write about and I've spoken about before. Exercise is good for our mental health. It is good for our physical health as well. So incorporating that in the start of your day might mean that you've got a little bit more motivation and energy to start doing the work that you need to do. Then it's about sitting down and going, okay, what needs to be done today? So you set that structure. What time am I going to call a friend or call a colleague for morning tea, to have a conversation? Do it on FaceTime. Do it on a video call. What time am I going to have lunch? What am I going to do for lunch? Maybe you want, you've panic bought and you've got a whole lot of food that needs to be cooked. Maybe you schedule that into your afternoon to do some cooking and freezing of food. But this is, that structure means what time you're starting work, what time you're having breaks, what time you're having lunch, what time you're finishing work for the day, and then you've had your normal day. I know that we can be less productive when we're working from home, and I'm not immune from that. I have a tendency to be less productive when I'm working from home as well, but structure is really helpful for that. So that might be another tip, something else that you can add to how you can manage the day. If your children are at home because their school has closed down, or you have decided to homeschool them for the time being, structuring their day as well is incredibly important. But that also means that you can do the work that you might need to do so that you can get stuff done, they can get stuff done, whatever learning they need to do. So structuring your day is really important, can be really helpful to managing your mental health and your sanity. So if you have any questions, please comment below and I'll do my best to answer them. In that, don't forget that this is a public page, so the posts will be publicly viewable. But if you want to send me a message, a more private message, you can do that via WhatsApp. You can contact me on my email, contact me through my website, enhancedlife.com.au, And I'm also available for online video consultations if that's what you're looking for as well. So as always, I'm here to help you live your most enhanced life, even in these troubling times. Thanks very much. Have a lovely afternoon. Bye.